He opened his laptop at 3 a.m. and realized he'd become a millionaire in his sleep. Ryan Keller wasn't supposed to be rich. He was a college dropout working night shifts at a 24-hour diner in Portland, serving coffee to truckers and listening to them complain about gas prices. But in November 2016, something changed. He'd taken $5,000, money his grandmother left him when she died, and bought Bitcoin at $700 apiece. Everyone told him he was insane. His mother cried. His roommate called him a gambling addict. But Ryan didn't care. He watched the charts obsessively, refreshing Coinbase every 10 minutes, like it was a heartbeat he couldn't live without. 6 months later, Bitcoin hit $2,800. Ryan sold half his stack and walked away with $200,000. He was 23 years old. He quit school the next day, didn't even finish the semester. Just packed his textbooks into a cardboard box and left them on the curb. He moved into a studio apartment downtown, bought a used MacBook Pro, and started recording videos in his bathroom because the acoustics were better. The first video got 47 views. The second got 200. By the third, people were asking him to teach them. So he did. Ryan's secret wasn't genius, it was timing. He rode the 2017 bull run like a surfer catching the perfect wave, and he made it look effortless. His videos were slick, confident, full of charts and predictions that somehow always came true. He wore the same black hoodie in every video, sat in front of a neon sign that said future, and spoke like a preacher who'd found God in the blockchain. People loved him. They called him the crypto king. He didn't correct them. By early 2018, he had 80,000 subscribers and was making more from YouTube ads than most people made in a year. But it wasn't enough. It's never enough when you've tasted what winning feels like. Stick with me. You need to hear what he did next, because this is where the game changed completely. Ryan started hosting live trading sessions. Thousands of people would tune in, watching him move six figures around like it was Monopoly money. He'd laugh when he made $30,000 in a trade, shrug when he lost $10,000. It's just volatility, he'd say. If you can't handle the dips, you don't deserve the peaks. People ate it up. They sent him messages. Stories of quitting their jobs, cashing out their 401ks, taking out loans to buy crypto because Ryan said it was the future. And he believed it. He genuinely believed he was helping people escape the system, break free from the 9-to-5 grind. But belief and delusion are neighbors, and Ryan had just moved next door. In 2019, he launched KellerCoin. It wasn't just another token. It was his legacy. He spent months building the website, writing the white paper, hiring developers he found on Reddit. The pitch was simple. KellerCoin was backed by real-world assets, immune to inflation, and designed to make early investors rich. He did a private pre-sale to his inner circle first, his Discord moderators, his Patreon supporters, people who've been with him since the bathroom videos. They bought in immediately. Then, he opened it to the public, and within 72 hours, he'd raised $4.2 million. His face was on the homepage, smiling like a man who just discovered fire. And maybe he had. Because once that money hit his account, Ryan Keller stopped being a trader. He became a brand. He bought a condo in Miami with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the ocean. He leased a white Lamborghini Huracan and parked it in front of his building where everyone could see. He flew to crypto conferences in Dubai, Tokyo, Amsterdam, always first class, always wearing custom suits, always surrounded by people who wanted a piece of him. He did a TED-style talk in front of 2,000 people where he said, "Money isn't real. It's a collective hallucination, but if we all believe in the same dream, we can build a new reality." The crowd stood and clapped for 3 minutes straight. Ryan stood there soaking it in, feeling like a god. And that's the problem with feeling like a god. You start thinking you can't fall. But here's the thing you need to understand before this story goes off the rails. Ryan wasn't running a scam. Not intentionally. He believed in KellerCoin. He believed in the project, the vision, the future he was selling. But belief doesn't pay bills. And by late 2020, the bills were piling up. The developers needed funding. The marketing team needed bonuses. The influencers he paid to promote the coin wanted more. And Ryan's personal expenses, well, those had gotten out of control. The Lamborghini payment was $4,000 a month. The condo was $8,500. He was spending $20,000 a month on restaurants, clubs, bottle service, flights. He told himself it was all part of the brand. If he looked successful, people would believe he was successful. And if people believed, the coin would pump. So he kept spending. In January 2021, Ryan took out a $3 million loan. He used KellerCoin itself as collateral, convinced that the token's value would keep rising and he'd pay it back in 6 months, no problem. He even made a video about it, called it a strategic leverage play. His followers loved it. They saw it as confidence, but it was desperation wearing a Rolex. Then came May 2021. Bitcoin crashed. It dropped 30% in a single week, dragging the entire market down with it. Ethereum tanked, Dogecoin collapsed, and KellerCoin? It fell 90% in 4 days. Ryan watched it happen in real time, sitting in his Miami condo at 2 a.m, staring at his laptop screen as the charts turned blood red. He kept refreshing, kept hoping it was a glitch. It wasn't. The price was 14 cents. It had been $1.80 a week ago. His phone started buzzing, dozens of messages, hundreds of notifications. People were panicking. People were demanding refunds. People were threatening to sue. Ryan tried to calm them down. He posted a video saying it was just a dip, that the market would recover, that this was the perfect time to buy more. But even as he said it, his hands were shaking. Because he knew the truth. The loan was due in 3 weeks. He didn't have the money, and if he defaulted, they'd liquidate his KellerCoin holdings, which would crash the price even further, which would trigger more panic, which would destroy everything. Don't click away, because what happens next is the moment everything unravels. Ryan made a decision. A terrible, desperate, irreversible decision. He froze withdrawals on the KellerCoin platform. He told investors it was temporary, just a liquidity issue while they upgraded the system. But there was no upgrade. There was no plan. He was buying time he didn't have, praying for a miracle he didn't deserve. For 3 days, the platform stayed frozen. And in those 3 days, the internet turned on him. Reddit threads exploded. Twitter was ruthless. People dug up old screenshots, old promises, old lies he told without even realizing they were lies. Someone found a clip from 2018 where he said, "I'll never ask you to trust me blindly. Verify everything." They posted it with the caption, "Where's our money, King?" On May 19th, Ryan to unfreeze the platform. He thought maybe if he let people withdraw slowly, in small amounts, he could manage the chaos. But the moment it went live, the system crashed. Too many requests at once. The website went down, the app stopped working, and Ryan's phone exploded with messages. Angry, desperate, heartbroken messages from people who'd lost everything. One message stood out. It was from a man named David, a retired teacher who'd invested his entire pension, $140,000, into KellerCoin because Ryan promised it was safe. David wrote, "I trusted you. I believed in you. My wife is crying in the next room. I don't know what to tell her." Ryan stared at that message for 20 minutes. Then he closed his laptop. He didn't sleep that night. He sat on his balcony, looking out at the ocean, chain-smoking cigarettes even though he'd quit 2 years ago. The Lamborghini was parked below, gleaming under the streetlights. It looked fake now. Everything looked fake. The condo, the clothes, the followers, all of it built on a foundation that had just crumbled into dust. At 4 a.m., Ryan's phone rang. It was his lawyer. "They're filing a class action lawsuit," the lawyer said, "and the SEC is asking questions. You need to disappear for a while." Ryan laughed. It was a hollow, broken sound. "Disappear where?" he asked. The lawyer didn't answer. Here's where the story takes a turn nobody saw coming. Ryan didn't run. Not immediately. He stayed in Miami for another week, holed up in his condo, ignoring the knocks on his door, the emails from investors. He kept thinking there had to be a way out. Some miracle trade, some last-minute partnership, some way to fix what he'd broken. But there wasn't. On May 27th, Ryan packed a duffel bag, clothes, laptop, $18,000 in cash he'd withdrawn from an ATM in 3 separate trips. He left the Lamborghini in the parking garage with the keys on the driver's seat. He left the condo unlocked. Security footage from a gas station in Georgia shows Ryan Keller at 11:47 p.m. wearing a gray hoodie, buying a prepaid phone and a pack of Marlboro Reds. He paid in cash. That was the last confirmed sighting. Some people think he fled to Mexico. Others say he's in Southeast Asia, living under a new name. There's a Reddit thread with 4,000 comments debating whether he's alive or dead. One user claims to have seen him working at a hostel in Colombia. Another says he jumped off a bridge in Oregon. Nobody knows. Nobody will ever know. But here's the twist. 3 months after Ryan disappeared, a wallet connected to KellerCoin moved $1.2 million in crypto to an anonymous exchange. It was done carefully, in small transactions over several days, using a VPN and mixing services to hide the trail. Blockchain analysts traced it as far as they could, but the money vanished into the dark web. Some people think Ryan orchestrated the whole thing, that the crash, the freeze, the disappearance were all part of a plan to steal millions and start over. Others think someone else hacked the wallet, that Ryan really is dead, and this is just one more layer of tragedy. But the truth? The truth is that once you lose control of your own story, everyone else gets to write the ending. If you're still watching, here's why this matters. Ryan Keller's apartment was found in June 2021. The landlord let the police in after 2 months of unpaid rent. The place was a time capsule. Trading charts still taped to the walls. Empty energy drink cans lined up on the kitchen counter. The lawsuits are still ongoing. Investors lost over $11 million. Some got a few cents on the dollar back. Most got nothing. David, the retired teacher, had to sell his house. A single mother in Ohio who invested $35,000, her entire savings, now works 2 jobs just to pay rent. These aren't numbers. They're people. Real people whose lives were shattered because one man couldn't admit he was in over his head. Before you go, ask yourself this. How many of us are one bad decision away from our own version of this story? How many of us are building something on a foundation we know is cracked, but we keep stacking bricks anyway because stopping feels like failing? If this story shook you, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because every day we're diving into the money disasters that changed lives forever.